Okay, so I wanted to make a shortish video about an interesting way that you can approach diminished harmony using the triads that are naturally found in the half-whole diminished scale. You might not think to deconstruct the half-whole diminished scale into triads in this way, but it actually gives you some really interesting results and some quite important aspects of the diminished sound are unlocked, if you will. We'll go through one way that you might want to incorporate triads from the half-whole diminished scale in your lines. So let's have a look. Okay, so I've made this diagram that will hopefully help you visualize the scale and then what triads are available from each interval. You can see how there's a diminished triad from every interval, and that's a good demonstration of how the half-whole scale and the whole half scale as well are essentially two diminished arpeggios stuck together. So it's a very diminished sound if you've got that's a lot of minor thirds. It's very diminished, and so you should be aware that a diminished triad ascending in minor thirds, that's kind of what people go to as a diminished sound, isn't it? But what you might not have realised is that there's actually a minor and a major triad available in intervals of minor thirds as well. So as a demonstration of that, if we go from the root, you can see that let's just play in C, just as an example. So you could, if to start on a diminished triad, you've got the root, the minor third or the sharp 9, and the flat 5 or the sharp 11. But you've also got the natural fifth available there, which will give you a minor triad. And you've also got the major third available there, which will give you a major triad. So it's the kind of the arrangement of the intervals of the half-whole scale that gives you each of those possibilities in intervals of minor thirds. So from the sharp 9 or the minor third, you can see it's a good demonstration of how a triad from the minor third can give you a seventh chord. So a minor triad from the minor third gives you a minor 7 flat 5 chord, and a major triad from the minor third will give you a minor 7. So that's just a nice little demonstration of that if you ever needed one. So things get a bit more interesting when you get up to the sharp 11 or the flat 5. So a minor triad from the flat 5 over the root of C, it's quite dense, isn't it? You've got the flat 5 or sharp 11, you've got the 13 or the 6, and the flat 9. But maybe that can resolve in quite a nice way, back down to if you're playing as a 5, resolving back down to an F might be quite cool. Perhaps you could explore different inversions and possibilities of that. It's essentially just resolving down a semitone, but but maybe a more interesting way to do that. Maybe if we did a major chord from the flat 5 or the sharp 11, you might call that a flat 9 sharp 11 perhaps, because you've got the sharp 11 or flat 5, dominant 7th, and the flat 9. And perhaps the most interesting one to me is when we move up to the 13th or the 6th. A major triad from the 6th degree of the half-whole diminished scale gives you a 13 flat 9 sound. So you've got the 13, flat 9, and the major third. And this will resolve really nicely down to a 1 if you're treating it as a 5. So that could be quite cool to explore as well. So you might not have thought to break down an 8-note scale like the half-whole into triads like you normally would on a major or minor scale, but it actually yields some quite interesting possibilities, and you can take it much further than this. You know, explore it all over the neck, resolve using it to resolve to a 1. It's cool stuff. So if you were to use these triads in your lines, perhaps, I always associate Adam Rodgers with this kind of triadic line playing. I'll show a clip in a second of what I mean. It's linked below, so go check it out. It's a really cool performance. So in that clip, he's not specifically using these triads from the half-whole diminished scale, but it gives you perhaps an idea of how you could use it. You know, using triads in your lines can be a cool thing, quite effective. But the art is to make that sound musical and not just like you're playing triads. But maybe it could go something like this. I don't know, maybe something like that. So that's about it. I'd suggest getting really comfortable with that all over the neck, and then find different ways to practice it. There's lots of other ways that you can approach diminished harmony as well, so this is really just one way. Hope you found it somewhat useful. Check out some of my other videos perhaps. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much for watching.